Hello my friends, happy day. It's been quite a while and the camera just had to come out even though I really didn't feel like talking or sharing. I always feel this sense of responsibility when I'm experiencing something so strongly and so intensely. I know for a fact that it's not just me feeling it. Not only that I'm feeling things for myself, but I'm feeling things for others and for the collective, and knowing that I'm tapping into something that is being felt by many. I just wanted to touch on this and send this video, and whoever is watching, I know it's exactly the message that you need to hear. The subject that I would like to talk about is grief, and what does it mean to grieve, and to give yourself the permission to do so, and how does that look like. Grief, I believe in our society, and most of us associate grief with death, especially when a loved one dies, and the emotion of grief is something that we feel. And yes, of course, death is definitely associated with grief and the period of grieving. But I'm realizing more and more that grief, the feeling of grief, grieving, comes not only with a physical death of a loved one. A grief is something that we feel when it can be a chapter that is closing, it can be a goodbye that we're saying, it can be a past memory, call it past life or whatever, that comes up to the surface, and we actually in the process of healing that memory, of healing that wound, and there's a grief process that comes with it. The feeling of grief comes when there's actually death happening on the inside, when we release, when we say goodbye to a part of ourselves that is no longer necessary for us. An end of a chapter, like I said, whatever the chapter is in your life. And there's a grieving process that happens with it, and sometimes the grief can be felt really deeply. A lot of the times, the things that we carry from, like I said, you want to call it past lives, it can be from this life and it's from the past, and those things come up to the surface in the present moment to be healed and to be released. And grief is definitely part of that process, because we are saying goodbye to something. We're saying goodbye to a part of ourselves, and sometimes it's a part that we've been carrying for a long time without even knowing. A lot of the things that I'm mentioning are not on a conscious level, and that's when we feel the grief. We don't really know what we're feeling, and we just keep going with our lives without paying attention to this grief that is asking for our attention. A heartache is something real. We always look at physical pain, physical illness. Our society validate a physical illness, a physical discomfort. And let's say you have a job and you are sick physically, and you call in and you say, I'm sick and I need a few days, then that's very much acceptable. Yet, if you call and say, well, I'm actually, my heart is broken, or it feels like it's broken and I'm grieving and I need a few days, most likely in like the typical work environment, it won't be a valid thing. This is just a shift in our paradigm that I feel is very much necessary to start validating all these emotions and all these energetic shifts and changes that we go through. We are not just physical bodies, and a heartache, the feeling of grief, the energetic depletion that comes with it at times is not less valid than anything physical. And it's all related, because when we move through those energetic shifts, we definitely feel it on a physical level. I can just share from my own experience in the last few days of the heartache that I'm feeling, and it's literally like physically I feel it in my chest and in my heart. And what I've been practicing in the last few days, and this is my message for you, that if you are moving through any feelings of grief, you might not even know it until watching this video and realizing like, wow, I'm actually grieving. And sometimes you know what it is and sometimes you don't. If you really look deep inside and you realize this is grief that I'm feeling, then please give yourself the permission to not only feel it, but treat yourself with kindness, gentleness, and compassion. And whatever it is that you feel that you need to do, then please do so. Like I'll be totally honest. Like in the last couple of days, yesterday and even today, I woke up in the morning and I don't really want to get out of bed. And I'm so grateful that I'm blessed to have that choice. I don't have kids waiting for me. I don't have an office that I need to go to. So I am blessed that I can have the choice and I can stay in bed. So I want to address those two things for those of you that have that lifestyle. When you do have that choice, then please give yourself that permission to stay in bed or whatever it is that you need to do and not be occupied with the to-do list. Oh, but I need to send this email and I need to do this and I need to do that. And to really scratch that and give yourself that love. Imagine a child that is really, really sad and is moving through sadness. You're not going to tell them in that moment, well, but you need to clean up your room and you need to do your homework. And it's just, you're not going to do that, right? You're going to hold that child in your hands, in your arms, and you're going to be gentle with them and let them move through that emotion for as long as as they need. So do the same thing with yourself. If you need to lay in bed for 5 hours or maybe all day long, then be it, and don't judge yourself for wanting and needing to feel that or for feeling that. And for those of you that don't have that privilege and you do have kids that you need to attend to, or you do have an office that you need to go to, or whatever it is that you just don't have that choice. But the thing is, there is always a choice. And if you just put yourself and what you're feeling on top of the list and to find something that you can do that honors your feelings and it gives yourself the opportunity to heal. That healing is something that needs to happen. If you were physically ill, if you were physically sick, there wouldn't be any choice, right? You will call and say, I can make it to work today or for a few days. You would find somebody to help you with your kids. You would do something. So let's start treating our emotional body and our energetic body the same way we do with our physical body. So if there's a period of healing that needs to happen, and don't give yourself that timeline also. It may be just one day, but it may be more than a day. So just let yourself heal from whatever it is that is wanting to be healed. When we don't give ourselves the time, then it just lingers and it will come up again and at a different point in your life until it really gets addressed, because all those things come up to the surface for us to give it attention. And again, just like a child that is asking for attention, you're not going to turn your back to that child and pretend that it's not there. You're going to give them the attention, you're going to hold them, you're going to comfort them, you're going to give them the love that they're wanting. And so you are that little child wanting that love from yourself. And grief is something that we all go through, and it doesn't just come with the physical death of a loved one. It's something that we just experience as part of this human experience, and it's real, and our hearts are precious and they're sensitive, and we need to treat our hearts with so much compassion and gentleness. And once we start giving that to ourselves, we're going to start seeing it more in the world. So yes, if you are experiencing anything like that, I just know there's something in the ethers, and there's definitely a wave of that grief and sadness that is moving through the collective, that is being healed, and we are healing and moving through deep, deep wounds, generations upon generations of grief, pain, sadness, loss. There's a lot of loss on many levels. I just wanted to send this message from my heart to yours, and give yourself the permission to feel, and not only give yourself the permission to feel, but give yourself the permission to do whatever you need to do in order to heal. I'm sending you so much love, and I hope this served you. You are amazing, and thank you as always for being who you are, and for doing the work, and for choosing the path of healing, love, compassion, and truth. Much love to you all. Sat Nam.